everything was centered around trying to save the addict.
Even with all my sobriety, I wasn't really sure what to do. And it's my kid. I don't want to make a mistake.
I remember the very last thing I said to him, how it affected me, was that I felt that he loved his, or I feared that he loved his alcohol more than he loved me.
I just tried to get him to go, and I kept saying, what else do you have to do? You have nothing on your calendar except doom and destruction and prison.
I was arrested for possession, was thrown out of my house, was fired from my job, I lost my family. Basically everything was gone.
We didn't know what to do, and I spoke with the halfway house counselor who recommended we contact AIR.
The intervention process accomplishes two important goals. It moves the family out of crisis, and it moves the identified individual to the appropriate level of care. People think that when we focus exclusively on the family, that the identified individual doesn't traditionally get the help that we're hoping that they will. In reality, people get to treatment 92% of the time through this process.
We were going to stand up against his disease. It wasn't against him, but it was against this disease that had taken over.
Part of the process was for us to realize that it was his choice, and regardless of that choice, we were going to have to move on with our life. That it was his responsibility more than it was ours to deal with the problems he had in his life.
I think the interesting part about AIR's work with us and with Shell is the first facility, they asked, why are you here? Because my mother made me come here. The second halfway house was, why are you here? My mom made me come here. The mental health facility, why are you here? My mom made me come here. But after meeting with the interventionist and spending time on the plane and the long drive to the facility, when they got there, they said, why are you here? And he said, I need help. And I believe the interventionist is the one that finally made him see the light.
The other thing that was amazing about this particular program is that there were follow-up calls. So the support for the parents is really, really strong. I think that's the primary thing. It's support for the family.
Our measure of success, the way that we define success here, is that we really want the family to be okay. So if there's 9 people involved in an intervention, one of whom is drinking and using, everyone's worked up about the one individual, we're going to tell them from the get-go that our goal here, while we would love to see that individual get the help that he deserves, we really want to move you all as a family out of crisis.
I think the biggest thing you learn is there's an elephant in the living room, you better do something about it. Nobody ever wants to identify it. We'll all walk around it, you know, well, yeah, it's kind of through a few bad breaks and some misunderstandings, all this stuff's going on. You know in your heart something's wrong.
Families don't know what they're doing. And having a professionally designed, led intervention is a completely different experience.
You need help, and you know you need help, and once you just admit it and then go get the help, that's it. That's just freeing.
So a lot of our work in the intervention process isn't with the individual at all. We're going to sit down with them. We're going to let them know that help's available. But most of our work is with the family, and that's about helping them understand the truth of the situation that they're actually in, different than how they think about it. We're going to let them know that it doesn't have to continue to be like this. We're going to help them set appropriate boundaries, meaning what's in the best interest of them, the family members. This entire process is designed so that 100% of the people who go through the intervention process get the help they need. That means that we get 100% of the families we work with off the hook. They need to understand that this is a product of a number of circumstances that are outside their control, and they're achieving at this particular moment 100% of the work that's available to them. That's the great goal of the AIR intervention, that we've reached the end of the road, and we get to tell you as a family that you're off the hook, that you've done 100% of the work, and that's independent of whether people went to treatment or not. That's the great goal of intervention.